distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are truly honored. We are truly honored by your presence because you have all come from all over the United States of America to Washington, D.C. to participate in this annual convention of Pakistani Americans. That I feel that something that we had initiated with inputs from the Pakistani American community 3 years ago has now been institutionalized. It has been institutionalized because the kind of interaction that is taking place between us, all of us here at this convention, it's certainly extremely beneficial for all of us. As you're aware, that the purpose of this convention was to brief you about important developments which are taking place around the world at the regional level and internally in Pakistan. And also to brief you about the state of play as far as Pakistan-US relations are concerned. These are all important issues, and I'm sure that you people also are focused on these issues for a number of factors. Your presence here at this convention, it certainly shows your love and affection for your country of birth. And that's why I have absolutely no doubt in saying that the kind of commitment that you people demonstrate all the time, not only that this country of adoption, which is the United States of America, that feels proud of you, but your own country, your country of birth, Pakistan, also feels extremely proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, there are certainly important developments taking place. The forthcoming elections, one of the most important elections in the United States of America. That also is an important occasion. And this convention that is taking place just before the American elections, that would also kind of provide an opportunity to all of us to reflect on some of the issues, the areas in which we are making progress in terms of Pakistan-US relations, and the areas in which all of us, are required to focus. Your contribution in this election is certainly going to be something extremely important from your point of view as well as from the point of view of Pakistan. There are challenges that we all face. There are challenges faced by the Pakistani American community here. There are challenges faced by Pakistan. There are challenges as far as Pakistan-US relations are concerned. And there are also challenges that we are faced in our region. Today, I would, in the next 15-20 minutes or so, I would try and give you a bird's eye view of some of the important developments which are taking place, the state of play in Pakistan-US relations, and also some of the kind of expectations that we all have as far as the Pakistani American community is concerned. Distinguished guests, today we are very fortunate and we are honored by the presence of the special envoys of the Prime Minister of Pakistan to the United States of America, Senator Moshahid Hussain Sayyid, who is a distinguished member of our parliament, and also we are greatly honored by the presence of member of the National Assembly, Dr. Shazre Mansur Ali Khan. Dr. Saba is also one of the most distinguished and active member of the National Assembly of Pakistan. And the distinction that she enjoys is that she contested in the general election and and gentlemen, I'll start with some internal developments in Pakistan. I keep mentioning it in almost every interaction that I have with respected members of the Pakistani American community that in Pakistan we are witnessing a silent revolution. A silent revolution which is taking our country in a very, in a progressive direction. Democracy in Pakistan is strengthening. Our democracy is noisy, but it's certainly getting stronger by the day. Our parliament is asserting its authority, and maybe during the question-answer session, if you ask me questions, I'll show as to how important a role that our parliament is playing in the not only in the legislation business, but also in debating some of the important issues, whether they are the recently passed Women Bill, which is being deeply appreciated all around the world, this bill against honor killing. I think this is a wonderful piece of legislation that has been passed by the Ladies and gentlemen, even on the foreign policy issue, the Parliament is playing its role in a very, very responsible fashion. Some of the most important issues are discussed and debated in the Parliament, whether it relates to committing our troops in the Yemen war, in which the Parliament discussed and debated the issue and said that no, this would not be the right thing to do. And earlier, on the Syrian question, again, the issue was discussed and debated within the Parliament, and it was decided that we need to, a regime change is something which is against the principle of international law, and we should not become a party to any such initiative. So, Parliament is asserting its authority. We have a ruthlessly free and independent media. Media is also focused on all the important issues, whether it is governance issue, whether it is corruption, whether it is human rights of the people of Pakistan, whether it is problems related to education or health, you talk about any issue and that is being discussed and debated by the media. You have a judiciary which is an extremely independent judiciary and playing its very important role. And the important thing is, ladies and gentlemen, that all the state institutions are playing their role exactly in accordance with the Constitution of Pakistan. There were 4 priority areas in which the government was focused. Terrorism. We are all concerned about issues related to terrorism because that was a very, very important issue confronted by Pakistan. Secondly, because of terrorism and because of the situation that prevailed in Afghanistan for the last more than 3 decades, our economy had also suffered greatly. And the third issue was certainly the education, energy sector. Energy sector, if you recall, we faced huge shortages in Pakistan, but that's not the case anymore. As far as the economy is concerned, the good news that I would like to share with you is that almost all the international rating agencies, all the international financial institutions, they have nothing but words of praise for the kind of, the manner in which this Pakistan witnessed this economic recovery in Pakistan. Because of the bold economic reforms undertaken by the government, today, by the grace of God, our GDP has registered a growth rate of almost 5.5%. Social safety net has been expanded to almost $1.5 billion. We are the 10th fastest emerging market, according to, again, international financial institutions and according to independent sources. Inflation is down to 3%. fiscal deficit has been reduced. Tax to GDP growth has registered, again, an impressive growth rate of 6.6%. We have successfully implemented the IMF program. Karachi Stock Exchange has emerged as the best performing stock markets in the world. All the rating agencies, whether you talk about Moody's, whether Standard & Poor's, or Fitch, they have upgraded Pakistan's economic rating from negative in 2012 to stable, and now it has further been upgraded from stable to positive. I think this is a wonderful news for any country in the world. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor that is being established, that is going to bring about an economic revolution in the country. And after my remarks, I would invite Senator Mushair Hussain Sahab, and during his address to you, since he is the chairman of this committee which oversees the implementation of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor in the Parliament, so he will be able to brief you about the extremely good work that has already been initiated, and many of the projects under this China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, they have already been started, and in the process, some of them are in the process of being completing by next year or so. Ladies and gentlemen, terrorism was again one of the most important issues that Pakistan had to deal with. Pakistan had become a victim of terrorism for the last several years, again because of the situation prevailing in Afghanistan. Afghanistan, as you're aware, has remained unstable for the last many, many years, and because of that, we were facing a lot of terrorism in our country. But in 2014, the Operation Zarb-e-Azb that we started, we initiated in North Waziristan and in other areas. Today, by the grace of God, we have broken the back of militants and extremists of all shades and color. Our brave security forces have rendered huge sacrifices in order to clear our area of these extremists and terrorists. And Defense Attaché of the Embassy of Pakistan, Brigadier Sarfraz, during his briefing will brief you about the entire aspects of this operation that was conducted by us, and kind of the difficulties that we faced, and how Pakistan and our security forces, with the support of the entire nation, we were able to get rid of these elements. Ladies and gentlemen, the important thing is that you can only defeat the forces of extremism and terrorism when you have the entire nation standing behind you. And today, I can say with the fullest confidence that the entire nation is behind these efforts of the government and our security forces to bring an end to this extremism and terrorism from our country. And inshallah we will. We have been able to eliminate this phenomena by almost 60 to 70%, and the remaining, inshallah, within the next few months, we will be able to get rid of these elements. We have simultaneously started intelligence-based operations against some of the extremist organizations which had surfaced in the last several years within the country also. Energy sector, again, some massive reforms have been undertaken in Pakistan to overcome energy shortages. Mark my words today, by 2018, we would be able to add about 10,000 megawatts of electricity to our national grid. Electricity shortages have already been reduced significantly. Currently, we have a shortage of about 4,500 to sometimes 4,800 megawatts of electricity, but once we add about 10,000 megawatts of electricity by 2018, we would have overcome energy sector shortages. This is the short-term planning that we have. In the long term, the kind of projects which have been initiated, like Dasu hydroelectric project, which will produce about 4,500 megawatts of electricity, work on which has already started, and Dhamir Bhasha Dam, which will also give you another 4,500 megawatts of electricity, and also 8.1 MAF of water, million acre feet of water capacity for our agriculture sector. That is also, work on that has also initiated. Besides, there are many other small, medium-sized dams which are under construction. We are focused on wind power, we are focused on coal power generation, we are focused on solar energy, and inshallah, in the next 10 years or so, we will have 21,000 megawatts of electricity in our national grid, which would be able to not only overcome the kind of demand that will be required at that particular stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan-US relationship, an extremely important relationship. I think if you ask anyone in Pakistan, United States of America is an extremely important partner of Pakistan. We have, since 1947, since Pakistan became independent, we have been on the same side of the aisle. Pakistan has taken part almost in every initiative that the United States of America has taken, not only in our part of the world, but also in the Middle East, and even at the global level. There have been many ups and downs, but I have absolutely no doubt that because of the inherent strengths that we have in this relationship, we will always be partners. There will be difficulties, there will be challenges, but as there is a new internal dynamics in Pakistan, there are new realities emerging in Pakistan, so the expectations have to be very realistic. Whether it is the United States of America is concerned vis-a-vis Pakistan, or Pakistan is concerned vis-a-vis the United States of America. But we both need each other. There is absolutely no doubt that Pakistan and the United States of America would always need each other. Pakistan is a country of 200 million people, energetic Pakistanis, a great emerging entrepreneurial class, a great emerging middle class is emerging in Pakistan, and as I said, that a resilient Pakistani nation on road to peace and prosperity is going to play an extremely important role, not only in our region, but also in the Middle East. So accordingly, we would be needing each other even greater in the days to come. We have established a strategic dialogue between US and Pakistan. This strategic dialogue has 6 components. We have cooperation on economic and trade issues. As a matter of fact, next week, the US Trade Representative, Ambassador Froman, would be traveling to Pakistan for the next round of discussions on TIFA, an important framework under which US-Pakistan trade and economic cooperation is undertaken. We have a working group